Today I'm going to show you how to turn a piece of off-cut leather into a bifold wallet. Compartment for your notes, 6 compartments for cards, and folds very neat and flat. Inside, there's your card sections. And that's what it looks like, nice and flat. This leather is just, it's 1 millimeter thick. This is what you would call 2 to 3 ounce. If you're buying it in the ounce, it's not how much it weighs, it's how thick it is. It's ideal for this sort of project because it means that the wallet you end up with isn't going to be too fat. So let's get cracking. I'll show you one and then speed through the rest. And there we are, that's the first piece done. So here we have all the pieces we're going to need, the outer shell, then the inner part. As you can see, these are different sizes because obviously it has to take into account the fold. Our 2 pockets on the left-hand side, 2 pockets on the right-hand side. So that's how it all stacks together. All we have to do now is assemble it. I say all we have to do, that's usually the most time-consuming part because we're going to saddle stitch everything. So the first thing we can do is glue this piece of trim to the top part of the back of the wallet. The glue's basically just there to hold it in place until the stitching's done. Now that will have air pockets inside and you want a really good adhesion. So this is where we take our nylon mallet and leave that to dry. So you can press it down while it's glued and the glue's still wet. You can move it about to an extent. So then we'll go with the next pocket, make sure that's going to fit, and then the bottom one, and make sure that's going to fit, and that'll be absolutely fine. So we can take these off, and then we want to do the one matching it on the other side. This glue doesn't need to stick them for very long because we're going to stitch them just shortly. And because we've already done the first one, it's easy to match up the one on the other side. And just to have a quick sanity check and see that it's going to all match up. Perfect, it's lovely. Right, so now that the pockets are positioned correctly, I want to glue down the bottom bits before we stitch them. So just peel that back and dab of glue there in place and a dab of glue there. That's as far as I can go with that. I'm just going to leave that to dry and then we're going to do some stitching. So the first thing that we glued is now dry and now we can start to stitch that into place, and this is where the press comes in. I'm going to do this at an angle so you can see. Now I'm going to score a line, and if I follow that with my pricking fork, we should get a consistent stitch all the way across. And that's the first one. To get consistent spacing, we start the next row, the next lot of holes, starting from the last one, which makes a lot of sense. In terms of the spacing of your stitch holes, the one I'm using here is 5mm. The first one I did, I used 3mm, and I found it was too closely spaced. And I've experimented with everything from everything all the way up to 6. I think 6 is too spaced for a wallet. Maybe something bigger. 6 will be fine. But for a wallet, my sweet spot is 5mm. And that's what it looks like. And you can see the holes have gone all the way through. That's going to make the stitching part much easier. Now, for the next bit, all we're doing is a line of stitches across the bottom. So because the stitching across the bottom of the pocket is only there to hold the card in place, it doesn't have to go the entire length. So what I'm going to do is put it right in the middle, and there's 6 holes here. And again on the other side. Now this is called a stitch pony. I'm going to put the first bit in, wedge it in like that, clamp it in place, and we get our needles prepped. Now, the rule of thumb is whatever the line of stitching you're doing, you want to do 5 times that in terms of the length of thread that you use. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That should be plenty. It doesn't need to be exact, but 5 is about right. Thread the needle and then pierce the thread with the same needle, and again turn it around and do it again. And you end up with this S shape. And then all you do is pull the needle through and then tighten the thread. And that locks the thread in place. And we're going to do that with both ends. So we've got a needle, you end up with a needle on both ends of the thread. Now, my saddle stitching is not brilliant. I'm still working on it, still trying to get it perfect. But get the 2 needles even. And then we're going to, you pass one through the right and pull it back. And where that hole is, you then pass the one from the left all the way through. Pull both sides of the thread towards you, and that leaves the back part. Try and turn it around so you can see. And that leaves the back part of the stitch hole open. So you can then put the right hand needle in and pass it through. Now, there is a danger that you're going to snag the thread as you pass it through. To avoid snagging the thread, you pull the thread back slightly and make sure it's not caught. If it is, pull the needle back through and unsnag it. Then, again, if I just move it around this way, then you cast, which is put the thread over the needle and then finish off pulling it through. And you pull the thread, pull the stitch tight like that. And in theory, if you do it the same every time, and because it's the same thread, the same needles, and the same spacing of your stitch holes, your stitches should all look the same. I've not achieved that, I have to say. Some of them do, and some of them don't, and I can't explain why it works sometimes and why it doesn't others. But I have noticed that as I continue to practice, the more consistent and the better I'm getting. So hopefully this will be a good version. Again, cast, and complete. Again, put it through, draw it back, put through from the other side, pull it towards you, put it in the back of the hole, make sure it's not snagged, cast, then pull both ends through. And then you just do that the entire length of the stitch line that you want to do. And you should get into a fairly consistent rhythm with it. If I take this out now, you can see, I'm taking it out now because I've got it all right. That is my stitch line, as you can see, all nice and even, and the same on the other side. Very pleased with that so far, but I've got no guarantee it's going to finish like that. Hopefully it will, but because this is one of the visible lines of stitching. Some stitching isn't visible, like at the bottom of the pocket, so you can afford to make a couple of mistakes there. Again, this is the bit that I think of as being relaxing, a bit like knitting. Once you get into the pace of it, it becomes an almost robotic action, and very calming, very therapeutic, very satisfying. So that's the end of the row of stitches. Now, as you can see, that probably took about 10 minutes to complete that row of stitches. If you used a sewing machine and did a machine stitch on it, that would have taken seconds. However, the saddle stitch is, in my view, a much more attractive stitch than a machine stitch. It's a stronger stitch as well. So what we do is snip it off and just use a lighter to burn the ends. And that stops the ends fraying. So that is probably the neatest saddle stitching I've done to date. Very happy with that. Now these internal pockets, much shorter stitch lines, so much quicker to do. So I've done all 4 internal pockets in exactly the same way. Now I need to put on the 5th and 6th pockets, which are this one and this one. These are slightly different in that they're glued all around in a U shape, but same principle applies. So I'm just going to let it dry, and then we're going to do those middle bits of stitching. And that gives us that. We need two stitch lines. 2 stitch lines, so 5 times that. 1, 2, 2.5, and doubled. Okay, exactly the same as before, so I could just rattle through this. Very close to the edge. That's exactly where I wanted it. Nice and even, and really pleased with that. So hopefully the second one will go exactly the same. So that's it with both of them done, and I hope you'll agree showing real signs of improvement. Now what we need to do is attach the inner part to the outer part, like that, glue it in place, and then the two final bits of stitching. Then we just burnish it and the wallet will be finished. Right, so when you leave this to dry, you need to leave it to dry standing up, because if it's flat like that, it'll try and pull the gluing away. So leave that to dry standing up and come back and we'll do the stitching. So now I've just got to punch and stitch all the way around the edge. So even though this is done as a U shape, it's actually two parts. You stitch to there and then you stop and then you start again and you stitch to there. So you do it in two sections. The last part of the process for a wallet is burnishing. This is where we take the rough edges and we try to make them as smooth and even as possible. So we're going to sand it down and we're going to polish the edge to a flat, shiny finish like that. Hopefully. Two things we're going to need is, first thing is some 400 grit sandpaper. So I want to clamp it as square as possible and as close to the top to keep it as steady as possible. Right. And I've folded the wallet closed so I can do both sides at the same time, and that gives more structure to the wallet as it's being finished. So and then to burnish this side, we use some Tokonole, tiny amounts, don't need very much. Just spread that along the edge. What this is basically doing is gluing down all of the stray leather fibers and then shining the glued edge, so it gives it that shiny finish. I spent probably 20 minutes on that. Some people will spend literally hours on the burnishing. And if you do that, you can get a really glassy finish. It just depends how much time and patience you want to put into each project. But that's it. That is the finished article. Ready to receive cards and notes. Stitching, very happy with the quality of my stitching this time. Yeah, not perfect, but another definite step forward. So that's a bifold wallet. I've also done these little card wallets, very similar idea. But what would you like to see me tackling next? If you have any questions about any of the things that you've seen in the video, please drop them in the comments and I'll do my best to answer. Anyway, until next time, take care and I'll see you very soon.